Hello everyone. It's James again. And for those of you that are new to this channel, I thank you for giving this little cartoon man a bit of your time. And for those of you that are long-time subscribers, I thank you from the bottom of my little cartoon heart. Today I want to talk about something very important. And that is war and rumors of war. We've heard that passage many times from the Bible spoken by many. But more and more it seems that we are in these last days of when these wars and rumors of wars are happening. But we must keep and be mindful that these happenings are not the end. It's when peace comes. And as of the days of Noah, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. And in those days, there was a lot of partying and hooking up, as some people like to say, and mocking of Noah, warning them of their evil ways and that a flood was coming. You see, Noah is a great example of preparing for God to come. Or more specifically for God to destroy. You see, we've seen all of the sickness in the media play out. With Hollywood being a mess. When people talked about how these artists would have to sell their soul. And those saying such things, they were called conspiracy theorists. There were certain people from several decades ago and even recently, that have spoke about the evils of Satanism and witches, and those that truly run the show, the societal narcissists basically. Although they didn't use that term. Now who knows if they actually knew what they were talking about or if they were just making it all up. But one thing is for sure. These lectures and writings about one of the biggest things they exposed was the music industry and Hollywood. They talked about in detail. I mean great detail. Where one would think, if they made this all up, they had to sit down and really think about this to construct their story. And guess what? There was many that painted these people as crazy. And who knows? Maybe they were. Maybe. But take a look around what is happening in Hollywood and the music industry. You see, narcissists do some of the most crazy over-the-top things. Things that if you told them to others, certain people would get mad at you because they would be thinking you are making things up against your mother or father, or husband or wife for no reason. Why? Because the things that narcissists do don't seem real. And you end up looking like the crazy one if you were to try to open up and talk about it. This is why a great many victims of narcissistic abuse suffer in silence. Because they know or believe no one will understand and it will all be turned around back onto them. Well, there is no way to know if these people were telling the truth or not. If their stories were made up fiction. Or if they were the real deal. But one thing we can know for sure. At bare minimum, it's a heck of a coincidence that what they talked about regarding Hollywood and the music industry were nearly and are nearly almost 100% correct. Based on what we are seeing now. And there are other details that struck me too. That led me to think about what was being said. Some talked about nightclubs, where there was all kinds of satanic activity going on behind the scenes. Some mentioned, have you ever wondered why these nightclubs are often next to shops that do fortune telling? Or palm reading? Or something like that? Or there will be someone right outside of the club sitting at a table with a crystal ball, wanting to read what they think your future is going to be. And most people when they were young might have went out dancing once or twice. Or even to this day. You might have to walk through such a place to get to where you live. And even to this day, you will see exactly what has been described by those that are so-called familiar with that life. Some of them also talked about their dealings in the substance world is the best way to say it. And they talked about the occult and satanic element that was surrounding it and their experience. While in that world, well, what have we seen and heard about in the last few years? And this is coming from news reports as well. Where there are tons of satanic rituals done by such individuals and evidence left of such rituals by such individuals that are in the evil substance world. How is what some of these people were saying so many decades ago? Way before there was an internet and you could research and know about such things. They seem to know of such things that when we look at it today, even if they were making it all up, the things they were talking about was and is still happening. But the wars and rumors of wars is not the end. Yes. We need to pray for those on all sides that are in harm's way. Because we are so close to World War III if it hasn't already begun. Because there are so many players and countries that are getting ready to get involved. Just like our Bible tells us. But it's when peace comes. And I believe when the vast amount of people are mocking those that are trying to do the right things. As they prepare for the return of Jesus Christ. Because even when things are bad, it seems people don't want to see things as being bad. It's much easier to call you crazy or nuts, instead of looking back at history. And that history tends to repeat itself. And God is so good and great. He's warning us to be ready and prepared. And to comfort one another. And this is why the societal narcissists have broken down the family unit. So families can no longer pray together. So iron can no longer sharpen iron. And so people can and will be distracted with all of the evil that is in the world. That you are told it's somehow good. You see. There is a video. And I can't find it at the moment. And when I do, I will talk about it again and share the link. But there is a video of a woman talking about how she dated the man that God truly had for her. And this was a man that she grew up with. They were each other's one and only it seemed. And he found Christ while they were together. And she dumped him because. And she said it. He was too boring. Or what the world calls boring. She went out in the world. And had children with a man that cared nothing about her. And she's now trying to warn other women to not fall into the same trap. And the video I watched this from was a reaction video. And the men reacting to it said exactly what I was thinking. You gave up a man that was praying with and for you. You see, Satan can't have families together. Let alone families that pray. Where do you think the narcissists got their divide and conquer methods from? Just like your narcissist parent or parents that made sure that your golden child brother or sister hated your guts. Also you couldn't help each other escape your toxic household. Also you couldn't break the generational curse and have families of your own. Close families. Families that pray. Because when you have families, intact families all over the world, praying, well, evil has nowhere to run. So what Satan and the societal narcissists do is divide and conquer. They pit the woman against the man and the man against the woman. And Satan knows one of the best ways to destroy the family is to convince the woman that she's somehow missing out on something. He was able to convince Eve in the garden of such things. Well, the same method is being used right now. And I've talked about it before. And these aren't just one-offs. I've said it a million times before and I will say it again. Ladies, if you are blessed enough to be with a man that truly loves you and that loves Jesus Christ, and he's doing the best he can, please know, Satan is going to throw every problem your man's way. And Satan will send other men your way, trying to convince you that you can do better. And not only do better, but do better with them. And Satan will send you women that will put doubt in your mind about the good man you are with. And ask you to go places that you shouldn't go. This is why I say, if such a woman pretends to be your friend and wants to go to the bar or happy hour after work, if your husband or boyfriend isn't happy about such a thing, he's not being overprotective. He's showing that he loves you and values your relationship. And this goes both ways. If you aren't happy about him going such places, you are just showing that you care. The key thing to know is, know these things will be thrown your way. And sidestep them and let evil find someone else to mess over. Have you noticed the big push by the societal narcissists is to make women think that they need to have all of these superficial things in a man? But not one day do they mention, what is his relationship with Jesus Christ? Look. If you love God, Satan will throw all kinds of evil people your way to throw you off your course. And for the ladies, please understand this. Satan might rob the man that you are truly meant to be with of his ability to do well financially. If you have a man that loves you and that loves God, he's masculine in every way. He works hard and tries hard at everything he does. He's not lazy at all. But nothing is going right for him. Have you ever stopped to think? He's going through a similar test that Job had to go through? Because when Job went through his tests, most of his friends and even his wife tried to make Job think he was to blame for all of his bad life happenings, when in truth it was a test allowed by God and carried out by Satan. And even though a great many turned on Job, Job held tight to his faith and love for God. And in doing so, Satan had nothing he could say when reporting back to God. And that's why Satan didn't want the woman in the video I was talking about to continue on with the man that she loved greatly. A man that prayed with and for her regularly. Satan knew that had they gotten married and had children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, it would be a legacy that without them knowing it, would likely impact a great many positively. Just the praying alone Satan wouldn't be able to stand. But what if they were to have children that would do great and wonderful things for humanity? Because God's favor was upon them. You see. Just like the narcissist, Satan thinks several steps ahead and sabotages accordingly. And it's important to know this fact. This is why we must hold on. And we must pray. And we must get close to God. Because if we look at what's happening in the world, it appears we are in very important point in history. And in a very important time that is talked about in the Bible. Because it's looking like World War III has begun or is about to begin. So we must pray. Well, that's all I have for today. I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time. Bye for now. And be good to yourself.